Letter 26. Patience is a strategy. Impulse is always our worst enemy. Only when you can endure what people cannot can you then do what people cannot do. September 2nd, 1902. Dear John, I appreciate your trust in me by informing me about your withdrawal from the board of directors of Citibank. Of course, I understand why you did this. You can no longer tolerate certain practices of your colleagues, let alone succumb to them. However, whether your decision is wise or not has yet to be confirmed. The reason is simple. If you did not take the initiative to give up the position as the director of Citibank, but chose to stay there instead, you might have achieved more. I know that being submissive is the enemy of thought and the jailer of freedom. However, for an ambitious person, maintaining the necessary obedience and patience is precisely a successful strategy that has been tried and tested. Looking back in the past, I have endured a lot, and I have gained a lot because of patience. At the beginning of my business, due to the lack of funds, my partner, Mr. Clark, invited his former colleague, Mr. Gardner, to join in. I agreed to this because with the addition of this rich man, it means that we can do what we want to do, as long as we have enough funds to do it. However, to my surprise, with Clark's invitation of an investor, it brought me humiliation at the same time. They wanted to change the name of Clark Rockefeller Company to Clark Gardner Company. The reason for the change of company name was Gardner was from a well-known family. His surname can attract more customers. This was a reason that stabbed my dignity greatly. I was angry. I was also a partner, and Gardner only brought out his share of funds. Did this mean that being a nobleman gave him the rights to deprive me of my deserved status? However, I tolerated it, and I told myself, you have to control yourself. You have to keep your mind calm. This is just the beginning. There is still a long way to go. I pretended to be calm and told Clark, it's nothing. In fact, this is a lie. Think about it. How can a person who suffers from injustice and a hurt self-esteem be so tolerant? However, I used rationality to extinguish the burning anger in my heart because I knew it would bring me benefits. Patience is not blind tolerance. You need to calmly consider the situation and know whether your decision will deviate from or harm your goals. It is not only disgraceful if I were to be angry with Clark, but more importantly, it will create rifts in our corporation and make me start all over again. Instead, unity can form a joint force, allowing our career to grow bigger, and at the same time, it will also allow my personal strength and interest to grow. I know where I am going. After this, I continue to work tirelessly and enthusiastically as always. In the third year, I finally managed to exclude the extravagant Mr. Gardner out of the company, and the Clark Rockefeller brand was reestablished. At that time, people began to respect me as Mr. Rockefeller, and I became a rich man. In my eyes, patience does not mean swallowing anger, neither is it humbling. Patience is a strategy, and it also trains your character. What it nurtures is a competitive heart. This is what I learned during my cooperation with Mr. Clark. I admire equality and hate commanding orders from high ground. However, Mr. Clark always puts on a pretentious posture in front of me, which makes me very disgusted. He never seemed to pay attention to me, but only regarded me as a short-sighted little clerk, and even belittled me for my inability to do nothing but bookkeeping and money management. Without him, I would be worthless. This is a blatant provocation, but I pretended to turn a deaf ear. I know that respecting myself is more important than anything else. However, I have been at war with him in my heart. I have told myself over and over again, surpass him. Your strength will be the biggest humiliation to him, just like giving him the loudest slap across his face. As you know, the Clark Rockefeller Company has forever become a history. The Rockefeller Andrews Company replaced it, and I got on the express train to become a billionaire. Only by being able to endure what people cannot bear can you do what people cannot do. Impulse is our worst enemy at any time. If patience can resolve conflicts that shouldn't occur, such patience will always be worthwhile. But if you stubbornly go your own way, not only will it fail to resolve the crisis, it will also bring even greater disasters. Mr. Andrews did not seem to understand this truth. Mr. Andrews is a self-righteous man without a business acumen. He lacks the ambition to become a great businessman, but has evil prejudices. It is no surprise that this land of person will clash with me. The conflict that led us to part ways was due to the company's dividends to shareholders. We did a good job that year and made a lot of money, but I did not want to let the shareholders take home all the money made by the company. I hoped to reinvest half of the proceeds in the company's operations, but Andrews firmly opposed the idea. This selfish guy wanted to divide the money we made, and even threatened me angrily that he did not want to continue working in the company. I cannot withstand any idea that prevented the company from becoming stronger. I can only lay the cards on the table and ask him to offer a price for a share of stocks. He said $1 million, and I said okay. I bought it over for $1 million the next day. Andrews was excited when he got the money. He thought he hit the jackpot, and that the stock he held was not worth $1 million. But he did not expect that I made $300,000 soon after I changed hands. When the news got to him, he actually called me despicable. I did not want to earn a sordid reputation just because of the $300,000, so I sent someone to tell him that he could get it back at the original price. But Andrews, who was annoyed, rejected my kindness. In fact, what he refused was an opportunity to become a wealthy man in the United States. If he could keep his stocks that was worth $1 million up to this day, he would become a multi-millionaire, of course. But due to a moment of impulse, he lost the opportunity of a lifetime that he could never seize again. John, there are too many people and things that require us to be patient in this world, and they entice us to be emotional. Therefore, you have to cultivate your ability to manage your emotions and control your emotions, and you should be careful not to be influenced by your emotions when making decisions. But he instead make decisions based on your needs and always know what you want. You also need to know that in the world of opportunity, there are not too many opportunities to fight for. If you really want to succeed, you must grasp and protect your own opportunities and try to seize others' opportunities. Remember, you must have patience in your daily life. It will bring you happiness, opportunities, and success. Love, your father.